Tensions in the South China Sea are once again making headlines. China has issued a sharp warning to European countries, urging them to stop supporting what Beijing calls the illegal 2016 South China Sea arbitration ruling. The statement comes on the 10th anniversary of the landmark International Tribunal decision that rejected many of China's sweeping maritime claims in the disputed waters. The ruling, delivered by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague in 2016, was brought after a case filed by the Philippines. The tribunal concluded that China's expansive 9-line claims had no legal basis under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, commonly known as UNCLOS. Beijing, however, rejected the verdict from the very beginning. China has consistently maintained that it neither accepts nor recognizes the arbitration award, arguing that the tribunal lacked jurisdiction and that the ruling is politically motivated. Chinese officials continue to insist that their territorial claims are rooted in historical rights that predate modern international agreements. Now, on the ruling's 10th anniversary, China's foreign ministry has renewed its criticism, not only of the verdict itself, but also of European governments that have publicly supported it. Beijing has called on Europe to stop what it describes as interference in regional affairs. Chinese officials warned that continued backing of the arbitration ruling could damage diplomatic relations and undermine mutual trust between China and European nations. The warning comes at a time when several European countries have increased their diplomatic and naval engagement in the Indo-Pacific region. Over the past few years, nations including France, Germany, and the United Kingdom have sent naval vessels through international waters in the South China Sea. European leaders say these deployments are intended to uphold freedom of navigation and reinforce international law. China sees those actions very differently. Beijing argues that countries outside the region should avoid taking sides in territorial disputes and instead support direct negotiations between the claimant states. The South China Sea remains one of the world's most strategically important waterways. An estimated trillions of dollars worth of global trade passes through these waters every year. The region is also believed to contain rich fishing grounds and significant reserves of oil and natural gas, making it one of the most contested maritime zones in the world. Several countries, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan, have overlapping territorial claims with China. While disputes over islands and reefs have existed for decades, tensions have intensified as China expanded its military presence on artificial islands and increased Coast Guard patrols across contested areas. For many Western nations, the 2016 arbitration ruling remains a cornerstone of international maritime law. The European Union and several of its member states have repeatedly emphasized the importance of respecting international legal decisions and maintaining a rules-based international order. China, however, continues to reject that interpretation. As strategic competition between China and the West grows, the South China Sea is increasingly becoming a focal point of broader geopolitical rivalry. What began as a regional territorial dispute has evolved into a global test of international law, maritime security, and great power diplomacy. With Beijing warning Europe against supporting the arbitration ruling and Western nations reaffirming their commitment to freedom of navigation and international law, tensions over the South China Sea are unlikely to ease anytime soon. The dispute is no longer just about islands or shipping lanes. It is about competing visions of international order in one of the world's most strategically important regions.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.